Hi, welcome. This is going to be a weekend reading for general energies for the next couple days. Always minutes and always be open to timing and keeping a broad, open mind because this is a general reading, and so apply in a lot of different ways. And the point is just to kind of get your mind going and point you in the right direction of where this energy or messages could potentially be focused. And it's kind of funny because it's sort of a double-edged sword for me because on one hand I want to be right, I want to give you guys the right information and not point you in the wrong direction or anything like that. So it's great when good things that we predict here and talk about come true, but on the other hand, not so great. I don't want to be right when bad things happen. But then in that case, then then it's not. I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing that great of a job. And then sometimes when things are avoided, and they don't happen, then it seems like, So just keep a broad, open mind of how things might work out for you and what different cards might mean. Because the last reading that I did, it kind of a lot of things sort of between the two different cities and power outages and talking about electricity and shocks and sparks, and that there was actually a house that caught on fire here in Chicago today around the same time that I think I said 4 o'clock at the end of the day or something like that. So, and then I think, traveling, commute, all that, subway, and those are the last couple. But, it is general, so unless, the metro system is asking me, what's going to happen tomorrow, it's probably going to be talking about something general. So travel, always just try to see how it might apply to you, and let's see what else, if there's anything else. So I guess we'll just start out, and if I think of anything, because I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but I don't remember what it is now. Anyways, so planets, the who for tomorrow, or the weekend, general energies, how, who, sun. Yay, the sun's out, and Mars is on the bottom, so aggressive in how you present yourself, how you shine, how you put yourself out there. Let's see. Okay. Your expression, what you talk about, what you say. Whoa, just not really sure where that was going. In Leo. Sun's ruled by Leo, so, but a few cards came out there. The other ones were Libra and Sagittarius. That's funny because I know that Leo, Sagittarius, composite, when two, it's like quadruplicity or something, when two of the same element combine, usually they make different ones, and I know it's Libra, I think. Anyways, and Libra's about balance, the two things, binding to, and whether or not, you choose to combine them or not, seeing the extremes or the middle ground, but higher thinking, higher education. It was just 420, but I mean more so the expansion of your mind in an enlightened sense. Thinking large, expanding. Sagittarius is always getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and always building on something. And Leo is all about, how can I express myself maybe, or I think just warm energy. Usually Leos are pretty funny and just have a good sense of humor. So it's two fire signs. I guess I'll start with that. The other one that wanted to kind of come out was in Cancer. Virgo's on the bottom. So maybe any of those signs are important to you. Always check your moon, rising, your sun sign, and also, you know, whatever it is that you're interested in. If it's love, maybe Venus, Mars, and, you know, the house that lots of, you might have a lot of planets in. Just to give you an idea of, like, transits also, you know, what's transiting the different signs. So, yeah. Cancer being a water sign, Virgo being an earth sign, and Libra an air sign. So we've got it all covered. But I think the main ones are maybe Leo, Sagittarius, or the combination Libra. It's all about balance, fairness, what's right. I have such an abundance of Libra. It's like a, you know, it's like a game of hot and cold constantly, like wanting to, everything to work out together and being harmonious, like everyone getting along. Like birthdays, parties are the worst thing for me because I'm always so concerned about everyone having a good time and, you know, or situation, you know, being fair and everyone's, you know, has a fair deal and it's all just and right and you know, you can spend a lot of time focused on that, on worrying about other people, worrying about, you know, the balance and keeping a balance, and you kind of somewhat forget about yourself a little bit, and then you get mad, you know, that you've like spent too much time thinking about the balance, and then you kind of like, it's like an extreme balance. Yeah, so, oops. Let's see, area of life this is maybe affecting you, or to look into. You know, this is for the weekend, but I think I might do another one that's going through the houses next, either tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. The 7th house of Libra, partnership, or in the 8th house, again, more partnership, more like deeper, more like, you know, hidden matters, things that, death, taxes, you know, like real partnership and the mysteries of life, what's hidden to you, you know, and what's hidden between you and your partner, and like, yeah, finding again that balance. 12th house is always at opposite with like the 8th house, you know, this is like the mysteries of life, this is like what's mysterious to you and like you don't get it. So maybe looking into those. 7th house, cooperation, balance, and 8th house, getting and using power, resources, and change also, major change. So maybe a change within relationships, within your partnerships, maybe within, you can talk about, I mean, any kind of partnership. 8th house, I always feel like it's more like personal partnerships and like marriage and that kind of thing, but 7th house can be speaking to that, but it's also any kind of partnership, like colleagues, you know, work partnerships, your relationship within your family, your parents, sister, siblings, anything like that. If you're like maybe working together, or you know, if maybe you're in a band and it's like your bandmates, that kind of thing. So, but I think Libra is probably really important. Let's see. Pull an I Ching card first. For the weekend, general energies, things to take into account, things to think about, things to maybe areas to focus on or consider. Oh. 19. That's funny because 19 is the sun in tarot. I don't know what it is in the I Ching. Looks like coming full circle with something, like almost like, because usually these are like people. So 2 people connected, almost like in a U shape. It almost looks like a lucky horseshoe, or, you know, reduced down to 1. So you, the balance within yourself or the balance within partnerships. What's on the bottom is 64. Again, some sort of bricks building, Lego, what are those, tinker blocks or something. I just thought of like having to like make these replications of Chicago buildings in 3rd grade. I actually used like Pringle cans and like put 3 together to make one of the like I don't know what it's called. I forget now, but by Navy Pier here in Chicago. The 3, maybe I'll find a picture of it or something. But it turned out really good for a 3rd grader, like glass and everything. But I also think of having to make this like shadow box of like Lego. It was all like learning by doing my school. So I remember having to make like, we were learning about pioneers, frontier or something like that, and having to like build little, which is perfect for me because my like 5th house is always trying to build something. But yeah, so I'll put the links for that below. It was like a log cabin. Sorry, I finished my thought. Which I really, think having to do with education. Like, I never considered myself good at science or math or anything like that. But, I mean, it really does come down to how you learn, but I think it's more so the application of how, like, I think school should really restructure their curriculum and how classes are organized and, like, combining classes, science and art. Like, I could never remember the details of something as far as, like, science, because I wasn't interested in it. I was like, doesn't apply to me. Which I feel like a lot of people, say about different subjects. But had I had to, like, draw out the anatomy of something in biology and, like, learn every single, putting it into practice and, like, vice versa, combining subjects, like, really, really combining it, not just, like, on an offshoot or, like, as a one-time project throughout a semester, but really without every single layer of what you're learning, just really, restructuring a classroom. Anyways, I don't know where I got that. Talking about education and anyways, I mean, Sagittarius has to do with higher education, higher learning, institutions, that kind of thing, beliefs, your, ruled by Jupiter. So, Leo, creativity. So putting more creativity into the classroom and how people learn. Maybe, I don't know. This probably doesn't apply too much to that many people, but maybe. Okay, so let's see. Further clarity, swiftness, star. And 8 of Swords, getting out of your head, or being surrounded by something, or taking the blindfold off. Sometimes I think of it as like being in a narcissistic relationship, or something that keeps you mentally stuck. Any sort of situation doesn't have to be a relationship, but we are talking about Libra, so it's like wiggling free of what doesn't work for you, seeing clearly, seeing what's around you. For 8 days, 8 people, 8 things, 8 letters, 8 words, swords having to do with air, thoughts, space, communication, speech, which I also think of like the star, because this always now reminds me of like Pleiades star system, or Trappist, or like Jupiter, even like the moons and Saturn or Jupiter. And this girl, she reminds me, like, it looks like it's her job, like I've said this before, it looks like it's her job to like recycle the galaxy stars and like the Milky Way, and out with the old, in with the new, but it's about following some sort of guidance, or going a destination, getting somewhere, following something, following your higher guidance. It can just be the future, talking about the future, technology, progress. And this is, again, 8, and this definitely talks about communication coming through the wires, like over the wire, telephone wires. And I just noticed like it also reminds me of a spiral galaxy like this, and you can see all the spirals, and it's a big part of this card is the spirals, just the spiral nature of everything, and like screwing something in, like how into a wall or something. I think of too, just like a screw, and how you know, getting something like really like moving through space, using that corkscrew like spiralness, and I just noticed like all the crystals on the bottom and like prisms, and yeah, so she just looks pretty chill. But this definitely reminds me of Spiral Galaxy, you know, like the center hub and everything coming out from the center, going outwards, and the rainbow connection, spectrum, seeing the whole spectrum, speaking, you know, because it talks about communication and something coming in, coming through, coming towards you, and talking about space, maybe. Talking about outer space. Maybe you're interested in that, and since we have Libra, just swords. I almost said like something with like a very Brooklyn accent or something. But swords, which represent, like I said, but I can also talk about space. It's air, you know. So anything that comes through communication over through the air, you know, it can be emails, anything like that. Maybe 8 emails. 8. I mean, really, whatever you associate the different minor arcana with, but I just always think of like, even here they have like the different facets of the, I guess it's a, you know, diamond, prism, something, and the electrifying out, and so maybe some sort of burst of energy. This is Mercury and Sagittarius, so talking more about maybe education and the future of education, which I could probably make an entire video about and really get into like just ideas of how I think, you know, at least from a more artistic point of view, how I, you know, could see different classes and curriculums being improved. But just funny, Arne Duncan, like former Secretary of Education, or I think that was his title, but he went to my school. Yeah. I don't know. Here we have, these also came out, so I don't know. The Knight of Discs, which always represents Virgo to me, and Virgo did come out with the Sun and Sagittarius, and the Five of Discs, which is again Mercury and Taurus. So taking a little bit of a slow approach, being I always just, you know, there's a lot of different meanings with this card, feeling like left out or in the cold or something like that, or moving towards, but really I feel like things, for me at least, are a lot more literal and simple. At least they tend to be. So I think of like this person going somewhere, like following or leading or chasing. Happiness is there too. So I also think of like a trickle-down effect, or you know, just the waterfalls of emotion, happiness. 9, this is like genie in a bottle, end of some sort of completion, you know, almost, maybe 9's important to you, 9 days, 9 people, like, actually, you know, the other night I found out that, I've always associated discs with, like, longer term, you know, Earth taking a long time, but, it actually popped out when I heard the word, hour, so it could be 5 hours, or maybe you have 5 is important to you and you're a Virgo, and you feel happy and, like, satisfied, and, you know, like, maybe you have your, I think that was in one of the music videos I put below, like, which one was it, but it said your own personal genie. Maybe you feel like you have your own personal genie. And maybe walking or something on foot too, with this card. I also see the moon and just the different shapes, the triangle, the square, the circle, the oval, and the star, the pentagram. And it can go both ways as well. This actually reminds me of watching Ancient Aliens and Founding Fathers, and how, you know, Washington D.C. laid out like a star radiating out from all different points on the star, like that. So maybe Washington D.C. is important. Or just, you know, because it doesn't have to be Virgo. It can be Taurus, Capricorn, any earth sign, or just that earthy energy. But since Virgo came that way, I just think it's Virgo. And this can be Aquarius too, by the way. I don't know if I said that. And this is Taurus, so this is Jupiter again, Jupiter in Pisces. So we have Pisces, Sagittarius, both ruled by Jupiter. So really like water and fire. I don't know, I start to get too many cards, and then, but I think it's like this star pointing the way, maybe, for this person, or, I mean, I can talk about more broad, you know, too, like Earth, reality, pointing the way for something, like maybe school, like, or maybe you feel like you feel overjoyed because you have your own personal genie, and this person is your own personal genie pointing the way for you, and showing you all the different directions and ways that things can go, maybe, or talking about all the different perspectives, seeing things from, you know, that center spoke, and just seeing all the different directions and possibilities, so you can choose the best one for you, you know, weighing your options, balance, Libra. And connecting, I think, both sides of the mind, you know, having to do with Mercury, or Sagittarius, expansion of your mind, enlightenment, and connecting both sides with the rainbow, you know. Yeah. So maybe watch my Stargate video, where I talk a little bit about that and show you some examples. But this also reduces down to an 8, so 8, pointing the way, pointing the direction for you, which way to go. This can also mean like backtracking, or going back over something, or like following the footsteps, or feeling, I don't know, I mean, it can mean like feeling left out, or something like that, or, you know, not seeing the clear light or the warm light inside, and not following in the right direction. So maybe learning from mistakes, or learning from the directions you've gone in the past, and learning from, you know, just the different things maybe we talk about here, and how to decipher the messages for you. And so I also say, like, if you want to, feel free to pull cards along with me, and see, you know, if any pop out, or pull them, just so you know how maybe these are affecting you in greater detail, or how the energy messages are directed towards you specifically. And you can always look up the card meanings and all that. So, but 5 is a change in direction, maybe involving communication, or the different directions you could go, and maybe taking a slow and steady approach, or, you know, not rushing into something, or maybe this is you, you know, or maybe taking too much time, because this is often very considered like a slower, like, not slower person, but like takes their time, you know, gets off their horse, and like takes a nap, and like decides to like do things like just very gradually. So however you feel like you need to utilize that, I guess. Let's see, I'll pull one from the Okay, I don't know what happened to that other deck that I ordered because it is supposed to come like years ago, I think. Like, and then it said the 20th, and Amazon is just not following through. Can mean to like, or two people. It's some sort of change. So this is the Manera Erotic Tarot for the love advice for the weekend. If you have any questions for involving your her need of suggestions, ideas. One card that did keep popping up the last few readings was this like girl in it looks like the Champs-Élysées. I can't pronounce it. Champs-Élysées. Or somewhere in Europe, or, you know, and that shooting today, and they did talk about chariot, which can represent military, law officers. A bunch of swords came out, and the two swords, two people were shot, you know, so you have to just kind of see how things apply to you, and just try to talk about a big intersection, avoiding traffic, so it's always like learning from, and like really seeing how things can work out, maybe differently, or Six of Water, Sun and Scorpio. Oh, okay, good. So again, some more watery energy. You know, to me, with this card, it's like, I feel like she's making friends with the water buff. I don't know what it is. What kind of animal? Like a boar? She's like has this boating hat on. Like she went boating. She decided she didn't need her pants, but like she wanted to like test out the water. But it could be you, Sun again, Sun in Scorpio, and this is Sun in Virgo. I always think mouthpiece, you know, like a recorder, or like hookah, maybe going to a hookah bar. Again, another eight of earth. So that really, to me, represents Virgo again. It is the apprentice. It is like, which also makes me think of that other video that I put in the other day, which was Nicki Minaj, Gucci Mane, and she's sitting on a big unicorn. There's that video of the unicorn barista frappuccino thing. I didn't even know that they. But yeah, just little things like that kind of come through. Or 14 together. Sun in Virgo, Sun in Scorpio, or just Virgo, Scorpio. I don't know what those make together. Maybe those are composite energies. Maybe Taurus. So I want to say Taurus for some reason. But I never noticed. She looks like she has some sort of like film strip too. And there's like it's like little popcorn floating around, or leaves or something, and she's just like hanging out, playing some music. But normally this card means like hammering out the details, working something over, like looking something over, you know, looking something over, reading the fine print, maybe. Maybe you are signing some sort of agreement, or like within partnerships. We did have the 8th house, so some sort of contracts, maybe, or prenuptial agreements, maybe. Maybe that would help you feel more safe, secure. I don't know if that's something you're doing, but Lovers is on the bottom, so 6 Gemini. Posing for you know, painting, which I had said that would be a fun, intimate activity for within partnership, maybe, to do with your within your relationship, like very Titanic, but I think it'd be pretty intimate, you know, especially if you or just have fun with it, you know, it would just be fun. But 6 is a loving, nurturing energy. It also talks about a choice or just lovers, you know, maybe whatever you're interested in. Maybe you're interested in Earth sign Virgo or Scorpio. 6 of water. This is like passing something along, sharing. Maybe she's trying to like feed this animal or something. I don't know what. But yeah, oftentimes it can mean past lives too, or just memory, someone returning from the past, someone coming back into your life, or even, we do have Libra here, so coming to mind, like thinking of someone from the past, or maybe someone's thinking about you. And 6 there, I just think of like helping, you know, or it could be the 6th house of Virgo, even though we have water here, but, you know, just to see how things apply to you. I just feel like this is like, I just thought of Mary Poppins for some reason. Maybe it's like, I don't know why I thought of Mary Poppins, but like, maybe like just her hat, I think. And she's like playing music and like, you know, I just saw the cutest kid pass by, and I think it was more so, I didn't see him from close up, from far away, but he was wearing this little like anorak parka jacket. It was pretty much the length of him, because I think he was like 2 feet tall. Like a foot tall, he was a really short little kid, and like little cuffed blue jeans and like Adidas, and like he had a little socks hat on. It was like this, you know, way too big for him. It was so cute. I don't know. I think I want to have kids just to like dress them, but anyways, that just made me think of that with Mary Poppins. Maybe, you know, whistle while you work, or playing that scene where they're like cleaning up the nursery or something. I don't know. Maybe you have to do some spring cleaning, you know, clearing out the old in with the new, with the star. Maybe you're trying to get that accomplished. It's going to be the apprentice, learning something new, focusing work. I think of also like an entry-level position or something like that, but it's weekend, so I think it's mainly just talking about like, just like looking down, having like a, I don't know, hammering something out, like figuring something out maybe. Maybe figuring out how you feel about someone or something. Especially having to do with lovers. And Gemini again, another air sign, so maybe talking about what you'd like to do with your lover. Or talking about activities or something like that. It looks like they are in Venice or maybe London, I'm not sure. But I see like water way far in the background. She's in some like lagoon and hanging out. I'll pull another one. Helping, sharing, passing something along, like tips I think of too. Or just happy family memories, nostalgia, you know, remembering something from the past, remembering someone from the past, wanting to recreate something from the past with someone. 10 of water, Mars and Pisces. It's an interesting combination. But this is the next, you know, after the 9 of Cups, this is the 10 of Cups, basically. So this is like, I also think of that Lana Del Rey Love video. I've watched that playlist so many times to look for every single detail, so sorry if those, I keep mentioning the same videos, but like, they're kind of like stuck in my head now. And at the end, and the planets too, you know, like with the star, and you know, they're on that, they're in the water. I'll put the link below, but in water you can see all the different planets around, and it's like that. I think she even has like little things in her, like little flowers in her hair, and so does she here with her little stars. That's cute. That reminds me of like in 7th for me in 7th grade, like the little like stick on like Velcro things, like cheap plastic crystals that you'd like put in your hair and like on your eye and stuff. Not that this looks a lot nicer, like a much nicer version of that, but it looks just really peaceful, like getting out into the, think of Utah and like the Grand Canyon, maybe. This looks more snowy. Also looks like lava back there. But she's just pretty chill. She's like, maybe she's looking up at something, looking up at that. Yeah, Mars and Pisces, so yeah, it's that like contrast between that fiery, aggressive energy, and not like necessarily aggressive in a bad way, because I know plenty of like Aries with that Mars energy that are just, they're just more like, okay, let's do this, like kind of energy, like let's go, like get their mind on something and then gonna make it happen. And that's very much like taking the initiative with something, so maybe you need to take the initiative, maybe someone's waiting for you to take the initiative. Maybe it's up to you to take the initiative, because maybe, you know, with Libra, balance, like, and also I think of the Six of Cups, kind of like a give and take, so maybe it's your turn to give, and by taking the initiative, maybe, and Pisces again, another water, 12th house also came up, so taking the initiative within, on a grander scale, figuring out the mysteries of life. On a smaller scale, taking the initiative with maybe things going on with Virgo or Pisces. I mean, those are opposite signs, you know, partner signs. So, and Gemini came up too as partner sign of Sagittarius, and Leo, Aquarius. So it's all about partner signs. Maybe like really finding your other half balance within yourself or someone else, but since we're talking about love here, relationships, it's a combination of that masculine and very feminine energy. Maybe going somewhere, a weekend trip too, just getting away, even by yourself. I think of that movie like How to Be Single or something, like at the end, I don't know. And 10, again, it's like a tweener card, you know. It's going to start over at 1, Ace of Cups. And I just finished a completion, so I see her like hair, it's just kind of like combining with the ripples here, just sort of, she's enmeshed in her environment, you know, becoming one with her environment or something, but like really just feeling connected, I think, to that watery part of yourself, your emotions. Maybe visiting somewhere that has water, maybe going to an aquarium. Try to like think about how water, emotions, feelings could affect, you know, could be, you know, playing a role in your life this weekend. 10 of Cups is like happy family. I think of going to a park, you know, big field, baseball field or something like that. Like, again, usually sometimes there's like a rainbow, like this card. I think of fireworks also. I don't think there's supposed to be fireworks, but yeah, just like looking up, like it's like hallelujah, or taking cover, undercover if it's reversed. Train just so undercover, taking cover. I mean, maybe being in your own little environment, like a little tent here, kind of equate to like, you know, well, it's my like sort of what you call it. My sort of play on underground movies, you know, in my little tent here. But really, I need to find a better place. Maybe it's not finding a new place. It takes a while. So anyways, or 18, Moon, using your intuition. Maybe your intuition is like, Mars can be talking about something like strength too, you know, having that sort of warrior like energy, but like condensed down to, you know, having that sort of strong intuition that's telling you to do something, maybe. Just trying to find that balance. But yeah, something's telling you to do something, like, or if you feel led to do something, maybe that's what it is, feeling led to do something and just taking the initiative and just saying, okay, fine, I'll do it, and see what happens, see where it leads me, see where it takes me, maybe just going on like a little adventure, you know, this weekend, finding time, asking like universe to take you on an adventure. Sometimes that works. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. Fun. Snow-capped mountains, fire, like, it just looks like an otherworldly sort of scene. So maybe finding some place, like going for a walk in the wilderness. I don't know. What's on the bottom is the Ace of Water. So, like I was saying, tweener cards, starting over, reducing down to 1, starting over at 1 again. So Ace of Cups. Like bit my own lip. Came up at, you know, I've been saying roleplay, like kind of forgetting Commander-in-Chief refers to the President. So maybe just some sort of costume-esque fantasy. Maybe you are fantasizing about this person, or vice versa. Again, more water, so just getting out by the water, taking a trip somewhere, going somewhere, moving forward with something. Really, again, just going with your gut, that intuition, that nagging thing that keeps telling you, like, or just won't leave your mind, or just feel it, you know, like, and paying attention to those things, you know. I feel like so often I write things off, or just say, like, you know, that's just, or I let things, you know, still, like, within my mind sort of block me from following something that is some sort of intuitive, like, you know, nudge. I think it's just like a little nudge. A little nudge, whatever this means to you, but like intuitive nudges, you know, and just really trying to pay attention to those this weekend. I know it can be hard sometimes, because unless you are like, that's why I think I ended up writing things down and just show myself, you know, like that this is kind of real, like, you know, these little nudges, the little sparks of inspiration, all these like little guideposts are actually real, and because otherwise you forget them, you know, and you're only remembering the things that aren't like most recently affected you or stuck out in your mind. So it's harder to follow and believe in those things, you know, when you can only recall a couple things, and you can kind of like say, oh well, whatever, just coincidence. But you know, maybe we should all listen to our intuition a little bit more, you know. I always feel like we blame so many things on you know, the greater universe and like God, and you know, why is the world so mean to me, and like that. And I mean, we can all go there, but I think that oftentimes the universe is trying to push us in the right direction, and it's, you know, paying attention to our own little signs, our own little clues, and just getting on board with something too, with the boat here. Maybe boarding something up. I did say taking cover before, so a spiral, maybe some sort of like, I don't want to like predict a tornado or something, but like those things together, like, I have no idea. So don't take my word on that, but just, you know, I don't know. Again, maybe following those little nudges and things like that. Biting your lip, you know, holding back a little bit, keeping it a little bit mysterious, again with the 8th house, like keeping some mystery by just having that sort of alluring, you know, mystique, I think of too. Subtly exposing something. She looks like she has her eye on the prize, you know, so it's the beginning of something, and she's figured out where she wants to go, what she wants, and she's just like, now that I figured it out, I'm going to lay back and just sort of, you know, look it over, think about it, think how happy I am to have started, you know. It can also just mean like an offer of some sort of an emotional nature, or a kind word or something like that, something that touches you on a deeper level. Yeah, so you see how that plays out for you, or you know, 1-1, 11, maybe a gateway, stargates. Maybe really checking out that video. Just, I don't know if it would mean anything to anyone else besides myself, but, or if any of it makes sense to anyone, because I wish I had, you know, better jargon, better terminology to express what I see. But, yeah, maybe, it would be interesting to you, but, yeah, I don't know. It did show this photo in that, and it has the rainbow over the head. This is a photo, or not a photo, drawing I did when I was like 5. I don't know how old I was. I think like 3 or 4 or 5. It's a self-portrait. Like, I don't know why I have like electric things coming out, or this represents, I had this like weird blue vein here that everyone thought I had marker on my face for like the first 7 years of my life, and so I drew my little gap in my teeth. I don't know. Sorry if this is not important to anyone besides myself, but just following the leads, you know, that's what, you know, following the leads. Oftentimes there's 2 people in this card, and one's following after the other, so following your leads, following where things lead you, the conversation leads you. So, yeah, maybe that's important to you, and I'll do an oracle card. Oracle cards, we've got 2 signs here in balance, Libra. This is the runes. Sum up this reading. For the weekend. Try to shuffle, you can see. Sum up the reading for the weekend. Constraint. Web. Maybe Webster Hall I just thought of. Or 7. Again, 7th house. And seeing all the connections, how everything's connected. Reading's meaning, constraint, holding back a little bit with her, you know, biting the lip, like. But I don't know what this is. I'll have to put the link below. But again, it has, if you can see it really close, like the spiral of the web. So maybe it also kind of looks like lace or little eyelets. And all the thorns around it, so like something really delicate and something really sharp, kind of again with like that Mars and Pisces, like, you know, just being careful, I guess, so achieving that balance, working hard on some structure, architecture or something, even if you're a little spider, like building your little spiral galaxy. You can check out my Odyssey playlist and see that gateway is on the bottom. 21. So again, a gateway, 11 maybe, or the stargates, gateways. This is, I think, something, it represents TH. And I think, yeah, but it's about like looking, you know, before you step through the gateway, kind of like assessing. I'll put links for that below. And this is the Oracle of Visions by Sarah Marchetti. So to sum up this weekend, looks like another gateway, 49. So again, 14, and he looks like he's being pulled up by the doves of peace, you know, being sustained by some sort of spiritual, like, dancing through the clouds, dancing above the clouds. Time, sand, 40, time, timekeeper. So, let's see what the Oracle Vision says about 49. It reminds me of something else I've seen lately, and I can't place it exactly. But this is assistance, help, support. Like the 6th house, or 6 of Cups, or, you know, any of the other things we've mentioned so far. I felt a tug, you must be at the end of your rope. Unknown. We have trained and we have studied, we have fallen and picked ourselves up to try yet again. Certainly progress has been made with each effort and each attempt, but sometimes despite it all, we have to acknowledge the reality that we can't do it entirely on our own. In this imagery, the white doves are visual metaphors for helping hands. Physical support they provide here might take the form of emotional encouragement, like water, financial assistance, or expert advice based on knowledge of previous experience. We talk about like previous experience and 6 of Cups, memories, or nostalgia, looking back over something. The challenge now is to achieve a balance, Libra, to offer help, like 6 of Cups, but not reliance. Yeah, and I think that is something that we can all learn a little bit about. But maybe you're feeling like you're at the end of your rope, or it's like, you know, Friday, and you're just like, thank goodness it's the end of the week. But really, I feel like just sort of being gently pulled up by something so that you can find your footing. Physical support, maybe you need that, or emotional encouragement. You know, I think we all need feedback. We all need to feel like we're heard. We all need to feel like, you know, we're appreciated, maybe. And that's very much about that, like 6 of Cups, like feeling appreciated, feeling like people recognize, or like, not recognize, what's the right word? Like, they see you, you know, like, seeing someone, making someone feel seen, feel acknowledged, feel heard, supported, encouraged, you know, going out of your way, maybe, kind of like the 5 of Pentacles, going out of your way for this, to do that, because, yeah, I mean, I feel like we can all have our, you know, down moments, like we've trained, we've studied, we've fallen pictures, like, I feel like I've picked myself back up from, like, really, I've, you know, and, like, I feel like I've picked myself up more than I can even count, like, you know, and every time it's like, okay, I can do it because I've done it before, but it slowly feels like Chinese torture after, like, well, for me, 11 years of slow Chinese torture, of things just sort of, like, hitting me down, you know, like, knocking me down, and really tough emotional type things too, and things that you just don't anticipate, that you could never see coming, that no matter what you do couldn't be avoided, or, you know, people too, just sort of, you know, either be like walking all over you, or, you know, throwing you under the bus, like that kind of thing, more times than I can count, unfortunately, because people take advantage of people that are good-natured, you know, it's sad reality, sad fact. And in every place I've worked too, and like, you know, and often, I don't know what it is about me, and maybe you are similar, I think it has something to do with the moon, I don't know, but, and the reflection, just how people either see the best or the worst in me, there's really not usually a lot of middle ground, and for whatever reason, there are certain people that can just, like, no matter what, get away with everything, like, because they have that sort of, like, maybe it's a rising sign or whatever, however they project themselves, completely fools everyone, you know, like, they can be someone who, like, steals from their work the designer that they work for, and, like, you know, talk shit about their friends behind their back, and, like, really just, you know, is in it for themselves, basically, and lies about their, you know, views. Will be like, they are the nicest person, and, like, I thought so too for the longest time, but, you know, when it comes to someone like myself, it's something like, I can do, like, 99.9% of things right, and then, like, one thing that may or may not be wrong, like, it just depends on how you look at it, or, like, or comes off like it rubs someone the wrong way, like I'm like condemned to hell. Like that's basically how it works out for me. But other people can just get away with murder, and you're just like, how? Like, I don't know. I think it really does come to that like projection, reflection, and like maybe reflection, and projection in a way. Like, really think of that. Forget what it's called now, but Devil or Angel, by Lou Doyon, and I think I pronounced her name right. I hope. And yeah, it's kind of like we have to stop projecting so much. And, some people like myself are often easy targets for it because I don't know. I'm still somewhat trying to figure it out. But I have been misjudged more times than I can count. And like people have just like really screwed me over, like rent, roommates, work, associations, like guys, love, like every possible thing that you can think of, like, but on a very weird, like, fluke way. Like I had someone, like, fake their name and fake all their documentation and lie about, like, who they were and, like, rent for me from, like, or, like, not rent for me, basically say they're, and, like, sign things and then, like, not show up with rent. It's just, like, really shitty things, like, that you're just like, how did, like, who are these people? Like, it just, like, always confuses me because, maybe it's just trying your best this weekend to be as, like, upfront and honest with who you are, the sun, and thinking, expanding on your mind, expanding on, not just going off, like, following those little intuitive nudges, but not going off, like, initial, like, projections or judgments and that kind of thing, because maybe you're judging someone like myself and who's been judged more times and it's not fair, like Libra, fair. Not to, like, I don't know, just as using myself as an example, like, it's more often than not very unfair, the judgments that have been made upon me and the rumors that stupid little bloggers that copy my every word spread around, like, that I'm just like, oh, wait, so you figured out you have rudimentary matching skills and you then consider yourself a creative director, but everything that you've done is basically a reiteration or the source-sized out version of what I just said 2 months ago, and now you claimed it or something, and you're, like, rubbing it in my face, like, I don't know, like, I just don't and then everyone's like, oh, they're so great. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, they're really not. Like, maybe seeing people for who they are, because it just irks me so much when people just take advantage of people that are, trying to do their best, that are trying to, be honest with what they do and what they create and, just do their own thing. Like, I'm just over here doing my own thing. Like, everyone, I just would love if they could just, I don't know, treat me with the same respect that they would treat some idiot, like, but you get fed up. It's that Libra. It's like you try to be fair and try to be like, give people the benefit of the doubt for as long as possible, because you really, like, for me at least, don't want to see that, like, badness in people. You don't want to, like, I hate being confrontational. I hate, surprisingly, but, like, I really don't like to, like, I want to believe the best in people, but then they prove otherwise, and so then I, it's not right, it's not fair, I call them out, and then they get mad because I call them out, and then they're vindictive, and they go out of their way to then, like, take whatever it is I'm working on. This is some people's favorite activity, by the way, magazines included. Take my words, things that I've been working on, find someone similar that they, kind of relate it to, and then apply the same concepts, the same thing, like key elements of whatever it is I'm working on, key elements of even my own personality, my own, like, persona that I've, like, cultivated, like, and put it on someone else, like, specific things that it's obvious, and just to be vindictive, I guess. I don't really know what the point is. I don't get it, but I'm like, what are you trying to do? Like, why don't you just, like, get a life? I don't know, or just, like, be fair and honest and, like, be what it is that you say you are, which is creative and honest journalist, and, like, like, look for actual creative, creativity, and like, or don't open, someone is actively trying to fix something or actively trying to move forward, like, who are you? Like, would you want someone doing that to you? I don't think so. So, like, just trying to be, like, as honest and give people the benefit of the doubt for as long as possible. But then, if they don't, like, they ask for it. That's my opinion. And you don't have to like it, but you also don't have to be here. Anyways, see, it's like that Mars and that Pisces that I definitely kind of, like, you want to be understanding, but then you're like, fuck them, who needs them? And then, like, which is a Bo Burnham, like, line from, I'll put that too. It's been popping in my head all day. I can't, or for the last couple of days, I just keep wanting to say it. He says it way better than I do. But then, yeah, and it's that Libra, then you do want to make things work. So it's about finding some sort of balance and maybe educating yourself about things before you make judgments, so that, or talking to someone directly before you completely try to, cause damage and blockages in their life and their career and thus their personal life. Because for some people, especially artists and creative people, their life is, a lot having to do with their creativity and a lot having to do. So it's like, what are you trying to do? Damage someone's soul? Like, what kind of person are you? And then you say that you are, like, so, I don't know, just, one person's like, oh, the evil. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, everything that you're doing is exactly that, like, evil, basically. You're trying to, your actions are detrimental to someone's career, life, personal life, well-being, mental health, and you're trying, what's the word, blatantly, or like out of your way to actively do this in order to harm someone else, and while all the while professing to support art and support artists. And I mean, I'm not talking about some random people here. I'm talking about someone I actually, like, have met, and, like, on multiple occasions, and have been quite nice to, and, like, have even invited out, and have talked very nicely about. I've never, you know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck did I ever do to you? Like, why don't you just back off? Let people do their own thing. Stop, like, like, trying to deter my, like, whatever it is I'm doing by, like, I guess sort of diminishing or just taking away the importance of, or, the originality, the uniqueness of something by then taking that and applying it to someone else. Like, I could see it as a compliment if it was, like, done correctly. If people were actually, like, I don't know, just not thesaurusizing, or just, like, literally some girl just, I won't even mention her name, it's not even worth my breath. But, the World Odyssey playlist that I've cultivated, created, spent, like, last 2 months, like, obsessing over, and, like, really thinking out completely, in my opinion, original, regardless of what you think of it, and if it lines up with history or not. And, it's something that I don't know if I've seen anyone else do. And I mean, I could be wrong, but at the same time, it is in its own right unique to me. And then, this person's talking about the genesis and the creation, and it's just kind of like, would you have had those thoughts had you not obviously looked at mine? And, like, no, like, I'm glad if what I do inspires you, and I'm not trying to be boastful here, but it's obvious, like, so, like, why don't you just, I don't know. And if you like what I do, then why wouldn't you, instead of ignoring me, why wouldn't you want to work with me? Like, I would, like, if I like someone's idea, I would say, hey, let's build on that together, like, Libra together. Like, plus I have just too much, like, I believe too much in my own abilities to want to copy anyone. Like, I think that's just, anyways, I'm going on such a long tangent, and I apologize, it's longer than I wanted it to be, but, it's just to say that we've all sort of had these moments where you're just kind of at the end of your rope, and then forgive me if I, like, piss you off with my own opinion, like, sorry, shoot me, like, or don't, but, even when you feel like progress is being made, like, I don't know, it's, why do people want to make others feel disheartened? I don't understand that. Are you that insecure that you need to take others down? You have to like detract, that's the word I've been looking for, detract from someone else and what they're doing, and not even acknowledge that you took their idea and their words and their concept and all of that. That's detracting from someone's life, career, all that, by the way. You know, why, if I mention something, like I try so hard to direct people to, you know, where I found that inspiration, or that, you know, even if it's just a word that I'm repeating. So, like, having higher standards, like, not just taking things at face value, you know, like, thinking, oh, just because this person is well regarded, or, like, they know this person or that person, you know, like, that doesn't mean that they're a good person. It doesn't mean that they at all deserve what they have, or, you know, what they claim to have, or, like, they're, you know, don't take people at face value. Don't just like trust that they got that idea on their own, because most likely they didn't. They have rudimentary matching skills, basically, and rely on everyone else to supply them with the photography, the clothes, art, all that, you know. And it's just kind of like, fuck off, basically, is what I want to say to them. Anyways, maybe it's just, I don't know, it's, see, for me, it's very hard, because I want everyone to get along, and I want things to be right and fair and just, and there'd be, you know, everyone just be happy. But then everyone keeps pissing me off, and I'm just like, you're asking for it, you know, like, so just fuck off, or work with me. Like, it's up to you how you're gonna pursue that, but like, or not pursue it, but like, still, don't be an asshole, you know, like, it's really just, you're then creating the problem. You do that, you do those actions, and then someone stands up for themselves, which is so popular now, you know, like, trendy to like stand up for your rights and like social justice. But then like you do that, and then people give you backlash, and, you know, you receive backlash for it, and it's like so hypocritical. It's such a double standard, and that applies to a lot of different like publications and things like that. And I just, you know, I don't understand it, because I don't know what the fuck I ever did to you, really, truly, like, besides, you know, see our overlaps and keep your secrets, you know. So, you know, you're welcome. Anyways, okay, I hope this was helpful. Bye.